everyone. Before we go right into the review of Mission Impossible Fallout or Mission Impossible 6, I want to reiterate something to you guys that has already been mentioned time and time again on several channels. So here it is. No matter how much of a crazed, xeno-worshipping Scientologist that he is, Tom Cruise is the very definition of a modern-day action star. He's an extraordinarily charismatic actor as well as being an iconic action star, and he is also incredibly infamous of doing various stunts on multiple movies that he's in. He is 100% dedicated to his craft, and that is mostly what we really like about Tom Cruise. We have seen so many action stars in the 1980s such as Arnold Schwarzenegger, Sylvester Stallone, Steven Seagal, Bruce Lee, Dolph Lundgren, and even Jean-Claude Van Damme. But nowadays, we don't really have enough action stars nowadays that reach the same type of caliber as we do with Tom Cruise. Seriously, what other action stars in the 21st century reach the same type of caliber and superiority of Tom Cruise? Jason Statham? Nope. Vin Diesel? Nope. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson? Even though I like him, not enough. And before any of you guys say, well, Vin Diesel was in Guardians of the Galaxy, that does not count. He was a voiceover. I'm talking about starring in your own movie, being an action leading man. What other action stars nowadays have the same type of brilliance as Tom Cruise in Edge of Tomorrow, the cult classic in Top Gun, the dystopian wonderment of Minority Report, and most of all, the action series franchise known as the Mission Impossible movies. The Mission Impossible franchise is a very special little action series, and they're one of the action franchises that really stand out from other modern-day action franchises, such as movies like cheesy action movie imitators like Fast and the Furious. Other than just ripping off other movies like the first few Fast and the Furious movies, the Mission Impossible franchise tried to find the same tone as the show. But with the first few outings of the Mission Impossible movies, it was very difficult for the franchise to find its own footing. That is when we came across Mission Impossible 3 and Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol that the franchise has finally found what it was looking for. And now, after the recent outing in 2015 called Mission Impossible Rogue Nation, we finally arrive with the 6th Mission Impossible movie, or should we call it MI6 for short, with a title called Mission Impossible Fallout. So what does this movie really have in store for us? Well, let's dive right into Mission Impossible Fallout to find out. In Mission Impossible Fallout, it stars Tom Cruise as Ethan Hunt once again, and this time, he gets assigned to another important and dangerous objective. This time, instead of stopping an assassination in an opera theater, or climbing the Burj Khalifa getting so many audience members who are watching it in IMAX heart attacks, metaphorically speaking, this time he is brought in to stop a terrorist organization known as the Apostles, who are passing down plutonium cores, just so that way they can put it into bombs, resulting in them initiating a nuclear attack on Jerusalem and Saudi Arabia. And the only way to save the world from total destruction is by stopping the main leader of the Apostles, a mysterious man by the name of John Lark. Unfortunately, after failing a side mission only to save a fellow spy member, the CIA then grows distrust against Ethan Hunt, and this time he gets paired with another spy that goes by the name of August Walker, played by Superman himself, Henry Cavill. And throughout so many twists and turns and objectives to complete, as well as interrogating villains from the last movie like Sean Harris as Solomon Lane, it's up to Ethan and the rest of his group to accomplish this impossible mission. Now, I'll be honest when I say this, when it comes to the summer movie season of 2018, I haven't really gotten any other movie that just really wowed me with excitement. I mean, sure, we had a few good movies like Deadpool 2 that came out. I've been stuck with disappointment after disappointment throughout the summer movie season, and now, with Mission Impossible Fallout, I have to say to you guys, this is the best action movie of the year so far. That is until Shane Black's Predator comes out and absolutely smokes this thing. Yeah, but with all joking aside, this movie is incredible. It is spectacular in so many ways. And you know what? I'll start off with one right now. The acting of the movie. As I established in the beginning of the review, Tom Cruise really does bring his all into this film, into any other movie in general. And while we kind of do see him in any other action movie, and we can just easily go like, oh, he's just Tom Cruise, just playing Tom Cruise in an action movie, which is kind of a solid argument for some movies, but in this movie, the character of Ethan Hunt has so much dimension to them and so much humanization that you can easily relate to the guy in so many situations. Whether it's being in danger or chasing down a criminal in a foot chase, He snaps out a charming one-liner without having any realization that what he said was funny. And whenever he's dealing with the subplot of a certain character from the previous movies that he really cares about. He's one of the characters that has the full-on badassery of Jason Bourne, but the same charismatic and likability as a John McClane. And that is what we really like about Tom Cruise, his performance, and the character of Ethan Hunt. But you know what? I never thought I'd say this, because for a guy who has recently starred in a terrible action movie In the Cold Light of Day, and starred in one of the worst superhero movies ever made, Henry Cavill does a pretty good job in the movie. I mean, he doesn't necessarily make me go, wow, he is awesome in the movie, he is such a good actor. But this time, with his performance and this character in this movie, it actually does function well. In fact, he does an absolutely good job in this. And the sort of teamwork and camaraderie he has with Tom Cruise and the rest of his members, they do really make up for some good moments and great laughs with his character. And other cast members like Simon Pegg, Ving Rhames, Alec Baldwin, Rebecca Ferguson, all of them provide very solid performances in their characters. And you know what? What I really like about the characters, other than the complete full-on chemistry that they have with Ethan Hunt, is that they play such a huge and important role in this film. The characters play such a huge factor into the story because every which way they turn, they have a difficult decision to make. It's one of the things that really makes the characters shine and the action scenes really function well, because every time it happens, you are constantly in peril for the characters and you really want them to live and you want them to succeed. But let's talk about something that everyone has been wanting me to talk about: the action in this movie. Every single action scene in this movie is executed perfectly. From the Tom Cruise foot chases to the motorcycle chases, heck, even a chase scene or an attack sequence in a helicopter. They are so incredible, and the best part is that all of them are 100% practical. They are all real. And all of that is thanks to Tom Cruise and his stunt work in this movie. Every time a stunt is happening, you are on the edge of your seat 100% of the time. And you are just standing there, just holding your breath in awe until the action scene is over. And one of the unique fight sequences in this movie that are very good in this movie is a hand-to-hand combat sequence in a bathroom. The fight choreography is great, and the camera isn't shaking as the fight is going on. All of the action sequences in this movie are a high selling point, and they are something you should absolutely see. And with those action scenes comes the great editing and the immensely perfect sound design. The movie is exactly 2.5 hours long, and it feels less than that. It's effortlessly paced, and it keeps you from looking at your watch going, okay, are we at the 2 hour and 3 minute mark? And the sound design as well is utilized gratefully. Remember that motorcycle chase I mentioned? There's a particular moment with Tom Cruise just drives right beside the cars while just going into oncoming traffic, and the sound design that is utilized in this movie is used so perfectly that it makes you feel like that you're on that motorcycle. You're there during the chase. However, if there's any other complaints that I do really have with Mission Impossible Fallout, it would just be a minor one. There are some points in the story where you can predict exactly where a certain scenario is gonna go, what characters are gonna do what, who the bad guy's actually gonna be, and just other twists and turns that could be easily summed up as sort of predictable. But when it's all said and done, Mission Impossible Fallout is the action movie of the year so far. I won't be the guy that says this is the best action movie ever since Mad Max Fury Road, because let's just all be honest, this one's just a great action movie, and Mad Max Fury Road is a masterpiece. But I will say that this is one of the best spy movies ever made. It's got an amazing lead performance from Tom Cruise, other performances that really stand out as well, action scenes that are flawless, the editing is effortlessly paced, and it's executed perfectly, the stunts are insanely incredible, and the sound design is absolutely terrific. While it does have a few miscues in terms of storytelling and predictability, I would have to say that Mission Impossible Fallout definitely gets a 4.5 out of 5. Alright guys, that is my review of Mission Impossible Fallout. Comment below, let me know what you thought about the movie. Find me on Facebook, Twitter, Google+. And also, if you would like to see more reviews like this, be sure to subscribe for more. My name is Luke Nukem, and you, my friends, have been blown away.